2 News Oklahoma's Katie Kelleher explains the ruling and shares reaction from those involved. Katie?
Both sides of the McGirt issue are celebrating different aspects of today's ruling. Cherokee Nation happy the court is not overturning the McGirt ruling, while the state is grateful to continue arguing part of its case regarding Native victims. The McGirt ruling in 2020 determined most of eastern Oklahoma is still considered tribal land, and the Supreme Court upheld that decision on Friday. Cherokee Nation Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr. calling it a victory.
One of the downsides of the governor claiming that reservations just didn't exist is that created some uncertainty in terms of our legal status, and that is now gone. I mean, our reservations are fully intact.
The McGirt ruling also determined Oklahoma lacks jurisdiction for crimes on tribal land. However, on Friday, the Supreme Court decided it will take up a question from the state over that jurisdiction, specifically in cases where the suspect is a non-native, but the victim is native. Governor Kevin Stitt applauding that decision, calling the fallout of the McGirt ruling destructive, and saying criminals have used this decision to commit crimes without punishment. Victims of crime, especially Native victims, have suffered by being forced to relive their worst nightmare in a second trial or having justice elude them completely. Tulsa County District Attorney Steve Kunzweiler also calling this a positive step, saying the McGirt decision has led to chaos for the criminal justice system in eastern Oklahoma.
So just getting back up in front of the Supreme Court again is an opportunity to at least raise and educate the court about some of the issues that people and victims on the ground are dealing with.
As of right now, tribal and federal courts handle cases involving Native Americans on tribal land. Chief Hoskin believes that should still be the case.
I mean, we look at the way the law is applied in reservations all over the country, which is where you have the Major Crimes Act in place, which is all over the country, and you have a reservation, you have a non-Indian offender. The state does not have jurisdiction over that offender.
Kunzweiler says Native victims seem to be the most affected due to the McGirt ruling. He wants to be able to prosecute these cases, saying his office is better equipped to handle them.
But anything that I can do to help the prosecution of people who seemingly are getting away with some of these crimes, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to protect our community.
As the two sides prepare to go to court again, Chief Hoskin says they'll continue building their criminal justice system, including hiring more law enforcement, growing their attorney general's office, and putting resources into victim services.
What matters is whether we have a criminal justice system that keeps people safe, that's fair, that puts a blanket of comfort around victims. It doesn't matter whether it's the state or the federal government or the Cherokee Nation. We all need to work towards that.
The case is currently set to be argued before the Supreme Court in April. Katie Kelleher, 2 News Oklahoma.